It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today as we start a brand new week on the channel. Today is a Monday, and like normal, we are making it a Metal Monday, and we're returning to the music of Metallica today. It's been quite a while. Metallica has been one of our favorite metal bands here on the channel since we started, and this will be my 26th video dedicated to music from this band, but the first time that I've heard from them since last October. So like I said, it's been quite a while, and I'm very happy to get back to this band. So today, we're going back to some early Metallica with the title track to their second album, Ride the Lightning, which was released 41 years ago in 1984. So I have previously heard 3 of the 8 songs on this album here on the channel. I first heard the final track on the album, The Call of Cthulhu. That was episode 237. I also heard For Whom the Bell Tolls. When I heard that, it was a live performance from the DVD Cliff 'Em All. That was episode 374. And we heard Fade to Black in episode 652. And so today I am getting to the title track, Ride the Lightning. I've talked about the album, Ride the Lightning, plenty over the life of the channel, but I've never heard the title track, and that, we fixed that today, y'all. So this is the title of the song and the title of the album, and it was inspired by a Stephen King novel, his novel, The Stand. It was actually Kirk Hammett who came across this phrase in the novel, which he was reading while the band was recording Kill 'Em All. How about that? And in the Rolling Stone magazine, James Hetfield said this about this song: "We just got into some social topics. The death penalty, which is what this song is about, right? Check the album art, right? The death penalty was a big question, and the electric chair was a big question at that time. That's really heavy," he says. What if that was you, mistakenly? That's what the song is about, being accidentally found guilty and put to death with no way to stop it. It was just a matter of putting myself into other people's situations and trying to get these feelings out. It's a remarkable statement from James, right? A lot of people who aren't really into the minutia and the genre and the repertoire itself of metal music, which had been me, right, mistakenly think it's all angry, it's all angst, and they're just thrashing around. It's sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's not really that way. These guys, time and time again, are focusing on social issues, on conflict, on war, on what it means to be human, on their humanity, on their empathy. This song, as I get into it, he says, "It was a matter of putting myself into other people's situations and trying to figure out what that would feel like." That's practicing active empathy, right? I'm really impressed by that, and I want to hear it, y'all. So that's what we're going to do. James Hetfield is on vocals and rhythm guitar. Kirk Hammett is on lead guitar. Cliff Burton is on the bass guitar. And Lars Ulrich is on drums and backing vocals. With Ride the Lightning, there is a writing credit for this song, and it's attributed to the entire band. Plus, it includes Dave Mustaine of Megadeth, who had been in the band previously. I think one of the riffs that they include in the song was a riff that Dave had composed. So there you go. Let's get into it, y'all. I am actually looking at the studio recording here as available on the Metallica YouTube channel, and we wait no longer, y'all. This is Ride the Lightning from Metallica. Here we go. Woo! Right into it. Okay, hang on a second. Just that much so far. I'm going to actually go back to the beginning. A lot of people ask me, how do you do what you do? Doug, how do you just go to the piano or just call out stuff? It's based on, or it's the result of years and years, decades of practice. So what I heard there, E, and then I heard sol, la, fa, sol, do, re, mi, do, ba da, ba da, ba da, ba da. So if I can hear sol, la, fa, sol, do, re, mi, do, if I can hear and figure out the solfege, the movable do solfege for that, as long as I can figure out what key it's in, if I know, they're in E, sol is B, and it's just ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. If it was in a different key, then I'd play different notes for those same solfege syllables based on what the key is. So that's how I do it, y'all. I tune up before I start. I do not have perfect pitch. I try to figure out, based on the note that I've ingrained into my head before we start, how does the root fit into that? They're in E. Cool. So what does it sound like? Sol, la, fa, sol, do, re, mi, do. And you go from there. That's what my training is, y'all. It can be taught. If I can do it, y'all can do it. It took me a lot of years to figure out how to do it. But if I can do it, y'all can do it. I'm going to restart. Now that we have one of their first motives that we know, this is going to be fun. Ride the lightning. Off we go again. Yeah. Driving thick riff from the rhythm guitar. Do, re. Cool, they went up to the F sharp and then back to the E. Strapped in the electric chair. This can't be happening to me, he says. Up to F sharp. Here's the chorus. They're up in F sharp now. Now they're back in E. Wow. Back in E for the chorus, or for the verse. Up to F sharp. It's time to die. Okay. So those are half steps. More half steps. Someone help me. Oh, please God, help me. They're trying to take it all away. I don't want to die. Neither do I. That's lay to sol. Oh, lay to the fa. Oh, lay. Yeah. Might be the A major chord. E to C, G to A. Cool. Up to F sharp again. They're all over the joint here, y'all. double time. Triplets, big triplets over the top of it. It's non-stop, y'all. Play, sol, flat 5 to 4. Woo! So they keep using that downward motion of a half step in most of these riffs. So this driving riff back from near the beginning. Just get it over with. If this is true, just let it be. Up to F sharp like they did before. Freed from this frightening dream. So the flash before his eyes is the electricity itself, right? Burning in my brain. That's a tritone. So they're back in F sharp. There's the subtonic to F sharp. Tritone. Sinister. There's the beginning. And they use that as a short coda and a really cool callback as they finish it up. Yadam, badam, badam, badam. And they're done. It's a really effective way to finish out that tune. Y'all, I'm impressed with the songwriting on that. They were all over the joint. Not only were they doing what weren't they doing? The main riff, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da, ba-dum, and then when they got up to F sharp, now I can't remember the rhythm of how they did it. Shucks, it's too new to me. But they were doing all those half steps, and most of that time the half steps are going down. So when we use more than one half step in a row, that gets us out of any traditional scale formation. We don't have any scales besides the chromatic one that has more than one half step in a row. And so when we start doing that, we're breaking down the harmonic underpinning of the song. We're breaking it down a little bit, and we're unmooring it a little bit. And sometimes, or most of the time, the people that are doing that are doing it on purpose for a specific effect. And I think what they're doing it, the reason why they're doing it is to give us that sinister or that impending doom type of feeling within the riff that they're playing in the song. And whether they're doing it in E, they're doing it in F sharp, they were doing it all over the place. Every time they came back to a different riff, and there's several in there, they were including, at least in part of that riff, descending multiple half steps in a row. Really, really fantastic songwriting, y'all. It's amazing to me. I went back and as I was reading today, I was reminded that this album originally was an independent record. It was released by Megaforce Record, who's a small independent label who specializes in hard rock bands and metal bands. Well, you know, when the album first came out, they only pressed 75,000 copies of the album, and it sold more than that. Y'all, a few months after the album was released, the album was catching on. It wasn't getting much radio airplay, but it was, people were talking and sharing it, right? And Elektra Records signed the band and then reissued the album, and it's gone on to be certified 6 times platinum in the US, and it's sold millions of units around the world in the 41 years that it's been out. And all these years later, it's still a really influential album for the thrash metal genre. And rightly so, y'all. Great playing, great songwriting, and I really enjoyed listening to it. And I'm left now with trying to figure out where to go next with Metallica, and that's where I was this time, trying to figure out what do I do. So I went back and I'm like, okay, 26 videos that I've done on Metallica. What have I done? What have I not done? Of all the stuff that's yet to do, what's one that I should do? That sort of thing. So the longer that we do this, the more difficult it gets to figure out what we need to do next. But last year, I had the opportunity to hear Master of Puppets, all of it, right? And we got to about the same point with Master of Puppets that we're now at with Ride the Lightning. I had heard about half of Master of Puppets, and I was thinking, I want to go back and I want to hear the big songs, but I also want to hear all of the album cuts as well. Well, the best way to satisfy both of those desires is to just listen to the whole damn album. And that's what I did. Side 1 and then side 2. We do that quite a bit here on YouTube. And those were really fun episodes with Master of Puppets. And they've been quite popular here on YouTube. So from this album, I've now heard The Call of Cthulhu, Fade to Black, For Whom the Bell Tolls, and title track, and Ride the Lightning. That's 4 of the 8 songs on this album, and we're not even including a song called Creeping Death, which I've never heard, which was the only single that the band released from this album. So we've still got Fight Fire with Fire, Trapped Under Ice, and Escape, and then Creeping Death that I haven't heard from this album. So I'm pretty sure that in the not too distant future, when we come back to Metallica, I'll want to come back and take a listen to all of this album. We'll do the first 4 songs, and we'll do side 2 with the songs 5, 6, 7, and 8, just like we've done for a lot of other classic albums, and we will have a grand old time going back and listening to this album. But today is not that day, my friends. Today I've just been interested in getting to this title track that I have somehow avoided for all of these years, and now I have heard it, and I really, really enjoyed the songwriting. I enjoyed getting into the head of these guys and seeing what they're talking about, because if you just look at it from afar, you think, they're talking about the electric chair and capital punishment. Like, yeah, right? No, they're talking about capital punishment and the societal and emotional and ethical impacts of that. And what happens if you get it wrong? They're asking really, really interesting questions. It's just put in a metal context, right? So we got to look past, if we're not too into metal, right? At least if we hadn't been too into metal, look past it, see what they're up to, learn the musicians. They're people, right? They're people too. What are they interested in? What are they singing about? The way that they musically express it is just their musical language, and that's perfectly fine with me. And as far as I'm concerned, their playing is great, their songwriting is great, and I really enjoyed hearing this tune, and I hope that you enjoyed going along for the ride with me. Quite a Metal Monday, if I do say so myself. So that's going to be all for me today. I thank you very much for joining me for this Metal Monday. We've been hearing some Metallica with Ride the Lightning. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you next time on another edition of the Daily Doug.